Hello. All right, we are live. We're going to be doing a web development portfolio review. So, I'm going to try to do 5 reviews. 4 out of 5 of these, I believe they're trying to become a developer, and 1 just became a developer. We'll do that person's at the end. But it has been a while since we've done a portfolio review, so I'm looking forward to this. It's been a long while, actually. I think it's been months. All right, so let's go ahead and actually I can see chat and put on some synthwave. Hey, Code Thing. Hello, everyone. Excited to hear about these portfolio and tips as I'm in the process of building mine now. Oh, that's perfect timing. That is perfect timing. Hey, JT, how you doing? Okay, let me just bring this keyboard over here. I'm typing with 1 finger. I feel like we need a new playlist. That's loud. There we go. That should be pretty good. Hey, Nolan. Welcome back. I also have 5 children. Okay, then maybe you can relate. Welcome back, Jeremy. I sent my portfolio in the Discord. No, you gotta submit it through the form. Provided a form link a few times, but you probably submitted like you might have done like a review. Or you requested people in the Discord to do a review. That's not where I get them from. There's actually a separate form. That's not a bad idea though if we run out of portfolios. I'm not against that. I had a huge list of that. So, but yeah, I noticed a lot of people are submitting their portfolio to get reviews. One thing to keep in mind is like, if you provide the value that you want in return. I wonder if I want to make it a rule, like provide some feedback on the previous person's portfolio and then ask for feedback on yours. I think a lot more people will get the feedback they're looking for if they take that initiative. A lot of people want to help others that are also helping others, if that makes sense. Hey, Lewis, how you doing? Okay, 2 Lewises. Hello to both of you. Just purchased John Duckett, JavaScript, and jQuery. Nice. Let me know how you like it. Hey, Susie, welcome back. All right, I think we're ready to get started. Audio should be okay. Just want to check YouTube. Yeah, it's pretty low. It's good. Let me move me over to here. All right, Ray Morrison. What? Come on. Indent this. This is triggering me. Why didn't you indent this? For the love of God, like, if your code looks like this... Oh my God, no. You gotta push this, indent this a bit more. Software developer with laser focus on pattern recognition. Attention to detail, pattern recognition. That's interesting. Honest, no nonsense approach to my work that always gets the job done. Combine that with my passion for my children, and I'm a potent mix of hard work, dedication, stability, and compassion. Okay. I don't know. I feel like this is a pretty good intro. It looks pretty clean as well. Usually, I'm kind of against putting this much information in the beginning, but I think you did a good job with this. But seriously, indent this. Right? I'm not the only one. I'm definitely not the only one. Devs get passionate about indentation. You should see the arguments about tabs and spaces. They do. I wonder if someone would literally... Like, it would just, like, be a knockoff the portfolio if they saw this with no indentation. I bet you there's a developer like that. All right, travel companion, front end, UI. Okay, connects to this API. Okay, so you're connecting to multiple APIs. Star rating, so you can always find the best match for your current location. Cool, problem solved. You have a visit link, opens up in a new tab. Good. It opens up. I'm not going to check every link. Let me actually just take a look. You have a README, available scripts, how to run it. Code has moved here, analyzing the bundle size. Is this just a, Why do you have these here? Are these relevant to your project? Or did you just copy and paste what Create React App had? It'd be nice to talk a little bit more about the project. So I've seen more people will even include screenshots on their GitHub README. Like, I love that you mentioned how to start your app up. That's important, how to install it and start it up. But even some information about the application in your README and providing a couple screenshots or like the different features. I've seen people do that in a very clean way where they don't really flood the README too much. It's just like, it's just enough information. I'd look at other GitHubs like that. Okay, so your primary is visit, and then your secondary is GitHub, which I think that's pretty accurate. It's nicely laid out. All the technologies, the problem that it solves. I mean, in terms of like the basic things that you should have, I think they're all there. Okay, so Ruby and JavaScript. Why, this makes no sense. Don't put animations here if they're not gonna indicate that it's gonna do anything. Just creates more frustration in the user. So I should be able to click and something happens. Basically, don't create animations for the sake of creating animations. Build efficient and clean code bases to serve any purpose. Okay, well, I'm glad you stuffed this at the bottom because this is really irrelevant. So a couple things towards the bottom. How comfortable, like, what do you, so I've definitely been talking to more people that have been explaining why they're frustrated with developers that call themselves full stack developers and have never worked as a professional developer before. And so usually it's because that developer, what ends up happening is they spread their knowledge, it's just spread too thin across multiple languages, across multiple frameworks. And so if I see an aspiring developer that has all these technologies, I think that you haven't really specialized in anything. I can't tell what you're even interested in. I guess I can go back up to the projects, Ruby on Rails. You have Mongoose, so you have a node stack here, but you know, you have like 4 projects. What, did you build like one project in Node? Did you build one project with Ruby on Rails? Like, what do you actually know? And so it feels like you might be a developer that has spread yourself too thin, and I would challenge that. Just keep that in mind, because a lot of people, they'll just stack all their technologies thinking like that's what employers want to see. Some people do it for automated systems, and maybe, you know, we've even talked about it, at least with the technologies. If these technologies, like Ruby on Rails is your primary, you're putting this first and then JavaScript and then Node, etc., that would make sense. Some people will put them in order of like the depth of knowledge they have for each technology. If you're doing that, this is fairly accurate, but it can possibly create some confusion if you just tossed as many technologies as you've used onto here. And this is irrelevant. It's not needed. I mean, you can pretty much see what your skills are here, what you used. I'm not saying you should exclude this section, but why this? I built efficient and clean code bases to serve any purpose. To serve a purpose. Every code base is going to serve a specific purpose. It's going to be a specific solution to a specific problem. It was aimed to learn new things and take feedback in my work. These are just like fluff. This is where I think you did a good job describing yourself and showing a little bit about your personality here. I think this is just fluff that's a waste of space right here. And again, animation for the sake of animation. I can't click on them. It doesn't do anything. Get rid of that completely. That's the default Create React app. README template, I think. I gotcha. Well, it's better than nothing. It's definitely better than nothing. You should have a README for your project, so at least you have that. Have a good day. Okay, no call to action? Why not? Why not bring this hire me button down here? It's okay to repeat a call to action, and I would argue like you have the right call to action for what you're aiming for. Bring it down here. Because this isn't that effective, just like a mail icon like this at the bottom. It's not as effective as people think it is. Give people a reason to want to contact you. Some people will like want to engage in collaborative projects. Some people will like they'll have all different purposes of why to contact, but when you just have a generic mail to icon like this, especially when you're only having a few people visit your website, don't ever expect anyone to click on that. So if you do want people to contact you, you need to think about how you want to spell that out at the bottom. I think you're losing people at the bottom. You're definitely losing people, especially when you're spreading into this, which is less relevant, definitely less relevant. Cool, that's my opinions about the desktop. What do you guys think? What's your feedback? Simplicity is key, 100%. Hey, Slayer, how's it going? So, yeah, let's look at mobile. Well, actually, I did, well, hold on. I'm gonna load desktop and do we want to do that? Not yet. We'll do that afterwards. XR. Okay. Empty cache and hard reload. I feel like there's way too much space between the icons in the previous section. I agree. There was a lot of white space. It's a good one. Social email icons, that is, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, why is there so much space here? Doesn't need to be that much space. It looks kind of weird. So when you examine text like this, there's always like an inherent hierarchy that people visualize of text, and you want to keep that in mind. So, for example, you have a little extra space between the title and then you have your paragraph, but there's way extra space to separate this section. So you did a good job separating this section. Maybe the white space is a bit much. Maybe you don't need as much. But then you have less white space between this H1, H2, whatever it is, this header, and this text. And then essentially, you're not really staying consistent with the spacing. It's created using is part of this section, right? It's that leading text of this section, yet there's more space here to separate this. Okay, just want to make sure you can see my cursor. Versus this. So it makes it like inherently seem like this is part of this text. Part of this section. And again, like I talk about this all the time, but you need to be careful about the number of frustrations. Like there are so many reasons to exit out of a website. You need to be careful about all the frustrations that you're creating across like all of your users. And so think of it like a meter, a bar, where if the frustration, even if it's just like little ticks, little things that kind of like they don't inherently make sense. Like, you know, people can kind of get a gut feeling of like what sections are with what sections. And if you start disrupting that based on like not really understanding the hierarchy of elements and how they're grouped, and you present them in a way where you start separating them in weird ways, that does increase the frustration of that bar until it overflows and they exit the website. And it's very easy to hit that bar. It's very easy to hit that bar and people close the website. People do not have good attention spans in general. So just keep that in mind. So probably bring this up a little bit. Maybe a little extra space between here. Same feedback. Visit GitHub. On a mobile, I don't know. I wonder if I would make these wider. I feel like at a minimum they're kind of wide enough, but people button or fat thumb, fat finger, and can easily click the wrong button. Yeah, I feel like they could be a little bit wider, or at least more space between the two. I'm not sure how I feel about the discrepancies between fonts used when you consider the font used for the project BIOS and the font used for the listing of technologies. That's is it a different font? The line, well, the line height is pretty consistent. I think it's just a. Is it? It's the same font. I think it's just smaller. Are you saying it's all Rubik? Hey, hologram, welcome back. Used for the technologies used. Oh, sorry, you're right. Roboto. I don't know. I don't think this is a great font to like stack your paragraphs with. I think this needs more line spacing, to be honest. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not even against the font change necessarily, but well, maybe I am. I don't know if I would change this to black text or I would change it to be consistent with the font. And I don't, honestly, you're probably right. I don't think there's any reason to switch fonts. I don't know why this person did that. And this light gray on this white is, the contrast just gets poor. And I think he's trying to de-emphasize this. I don't know, you're like, all this text is just stacked together and hard to read. Like the line height is terrible with it. And I would argue this is better header text than it is readable paragraph text. And then you create this situation where like it's a little bit harder to read. The contrast is poor here. I don't know if it's the color or the font bothering me. But yeah, I don't know if I said, but welcome back, hologram. It's good to see you early so you don't have to catch up with half the episode. Bold text, and yeah, I would agree with that. There's definitely something that feels off about this, and I think he's de-emphasizing this too much. You got to remember, like, breaking these, you'll break up the monotony of these blocks of text by just providing a bulleted list as well. Okay, this is like, why? You could start like stacking these technologies a little. So maybe this, you could fit 2, maybe 3 technologies, 3 cards in each row. Having to scroll all the way down, that's kind of silly. And then again, I think these are irrelevant. And then I would focus more on the call to action. Yep. All right, let's do a hard refresh. I think it automatically clears the network when I do that. Maybe I don't have to. Nope, we're looking at everything. Really? Why are you even loading these on mobile? I mean, I guess it's not a big deal, but like, that's a big image to load on mobile. Let's go, well, this is desktop. What am I talking about? You just excluded the image. You got it. Okay. So, this is a big image to load even for desktop. Where is this image? Hold on. Let me do a hard refresh. Travel companion is, you have almost a 4 megabyte image that looks as small as this. Are you kidding me? You gotta condense that, shrink that image down and run it in tiny PNG or something. That's ridiculous. This is going to really give off that you really don't know how to optimize your website. And optimization is important. It's incredibly important for search. It brings companies a lot of money, majority of the time. And so as a front-end developer, you definitely want to showcase that you've taken care to optimize your application. And what does that even mean, right? And even with like a React application, well, optimizing in React is, I think that's a whole other conversation. But Yeah, so condense these images down. These are way too large. Way too large. Oops. Large images. Fonts, bootstrap, min. Are these overrides or? Doesn't Bootstrap have a minimum library for CSS? Does it not? I'm not really worried too much about anything else. Just optimize your images. Is a lot of this generated on the server side? With Create React App? Am I insane? Where's the bundle? Maybe it's generated on the server side. I don't know. Let me know. Maybe I'm missing something there. But yeah, not too worried about anything else. It looks pretty clean. It does look pretty clean. Those are the things that I would improve with it. And again, it's just continuing to work on projects, continuing to build more complex projects as you continue your job search. Cool. Good job. I ought to go through my design books at some point while we're on point of optimization. No, I don't think it's a React app. This, yeah, I don't think it is either, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I was thinking that maybe it was just because I saw React in all of his applications. Then we looked at the README. But you're probably right, it isn't. Even server side, you're going to get a bundle generated on the front end. All right. Cool. Next one. All right. What am I looking at? It's worth looking into SCSS so that you can load only the Bootstrap components you need. Otherwise, if you're loading the entire Bootstrap spreadsheet, that's potential a lot of unused CSS. But doesn't it have at least a minimum version of the library for the CSS portion? Okay, let's refresh. This is taking way too long. Why did you delay these animations? These load-ins. You purposely did that. What's with this mouse cursor? Can I click it? Okay. So you're telling me I should click on projects. Okay, so if I click on GitHub, remember to open this in a new tab. You should never, ever take people away from your current website without opening a new tab. This should open in a new tab. Okay, so projects, Splash, digital arts, it's an art agency website build. That's what? I don't force me to look down like that. So I'm scrolling down a little bit and then it forces me down even. I don't know if I like that or not. I would actually A/B test that. I would definitely A/B test that. That feels like a jarring action to force a user to do. Okay. I don't know what you're doing with this cursor. Get rid of it. Again, you want to be very careful. I think a lot of people try to be too creative with their portfolios. Lean on what's already been proven to be acceptable by most users. Changing this cursor kind of gives me the feeling like it's you're trying to create this like different device. I'm on desktop right now. There's no reason I should have this cursor. This is not a normal thing to have. Just bring back your normal cursor. A marquee. No one's going to sit here and read all this. If you think this is really important, then just put it as text. Don't put this in a marquee. Splash. Okay, urban fitness studio. I just want to scroll down a little bit so I can see view demo. So do you see how that can already be jarring? I'm trying to scroll down a little bit. I can't even click view demo, right? Now I got to and then, oh, it disappears again. So I'm just going to keep chasing it. That's a horrible experience. Get rid of that feature. Okay, I don't even know if I could click on it. All right, I'm not even going to try. Screw it. Like, I would treat that like employers are just going to give up on that. Do not, like, just get rid of that feature completely. View demo, you should also have a GitHub link as well. So if this goes, yeah, this goes directly to the application. Tap, what do you mean tap? Like, I don't even have, maybe you were building this for a touch monitor or something like that. This, yeah, I don't think you really understand the platform that I'm viewing this on. So you mentioned the technologies. Come on, I just want to look. Okay. Urban React styled components. You mentioned the technologies, which is good. E-commerce website, fitness studio website, agency, art agency website. So if I click on this, nothing happens. Does that look different? View demo? Maybe it doesn't. I'm seeing things. Why? That's weird. So what you're doing is you're essentially separating this project. I'm not sure if I like that because at least you put the arrow. Actually, that can be a little bit helpful, but you're separating view demo from this being an action to take when they do look at this. When you're separating it with these horizontal. Like, do you need this horizontal line or should this? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. We blog is a creative. What? What do I featured? So these aren't your featured projects? Creative blog website. Vogue is a fashion brand built. I'm confused. What are your main projects? What should I even look at? Urban, Corner Store, Yara, Weblog, Vogue, Madison. Are these like additional projects? Is this, did you build these websites? I don't even know if you built these. I have no idea what's going on here. I think the issue with having a custom cursor too is that the user can't observe cursor changes, such as for selectable text. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I don't know about you, Don, but I am finding portfolio.html very difficult to scroll. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And it won't be clear to most users that it's scrollable, to be honest. You are right. Yeah, you're actually right about that. Because, I mean, usually, inherently, if it's extended all the way to the right, if you try to scroll, then you can see the scroll bar, but like this indicates that there already isn't a scroll bar, right? It's not naturally hidden like it would be if you leaned on the browser's scroll bar to hide and appear as you scroll. So yeah, it's not obvious because you include this project and it looks like you, I don't know, I get this feeling like it's just, you took like a template and you just filled it out with information and put it on a website. Maybe when I see Splash, I think like an old Splash website, a Splash page, I don't know, 10 years ago. Maybe I'm getting my dates wrong, but maybe that's why it feels like this template doesn't really have any substance. It's just some random template you toss information in. I don't know, maybe that's a bias I have with the Splash name. Yeah, I don't even know what your main projects are. Like what's your primary project? Should I be looking at this? Should I be looking at this? I have no idea. Okay, so this is scrollable too. So I know, well, I did know, but like you can't expect a user to know that this is scrollable. Again, okay, so you open a new tab here, but not with the intro page. Why do you even have the intro page? Why isn't this your main website? Is there anything else about your website where you want like a portfolio section and something else? Because I don't think so. Okay, this goes back to the index. So now I gotta wait to socials and click on anything. Yeah, this is a very confusing website. So let's go ahead and check out mobile. But what do you guys think of it so far? If you're gonna include the circle cursor, it's fine, but it should be smaller and follow the normal cursor, not replace it. Be smaller and follow the normal cursor. What do you mean but follow it? Like follow it behind, like you see the normal cursor and then you have the circle? This is also where the custom cursor is more of a hindrance. Yep. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Oh. What? Streamlabs. I thought I set those timers up correctly, but Streamlabs is just spamming, apparently. I don't like the landing page. Get rid of it. I think the landing page is terrible. There's no reason to have it. I mean, it's not... It's terrible in the sense that it provides no useful function for me whatsoever. Like, it's just a barrier to finally get into the projects. Like, why do you even have this? So you could put this? This is irrelevant. This means nothing. Let's go ahead and check out mobile. Yeah. .3.js, is that what 3 is? Okay, I think you imported 3.js. Yeah, get rid of this. There's no point in having this. I would get rid of this whole landing page. Why do you make... What? Oh my god, this is mobile? Is this even mobile friendly? Hello? I don't even think you tried and worked on mobile. Okay, that loaded, get rid of it. Just load the page. There's no reason to have that animation. This is unreadable. This is unusable. Like, you haven't considered mobile at all. This is essentially a broken website at this point. So I feel like I've given all the feedback that I probably can. I don't think there's any point in checking out the mobile version, but I think there's just a lot more work to do in that sense. Yeah, I'm just confused. I don't know if there's anything else to review with this website. If you guys have any additional feedback, feel free to type in chat. Seems like new developers are taking fake it till you make it way to another level. I see more and more template portfolios that seem like they were copied from another portfolio. That's the feeling I get. But it's a simple enough portfolio where maybe that's not the case. There's definitely an increasing lack of integrity in the industry, but I'm not saying that's what this person has, but I can definitely attest to that, at least at the entry level. Again, building more and more distrust for junior developers. I feel like the lack of text might make people unsure about whether to click on projects or not. We don't know who this person is. Well, I would argue, I don't think anyone's going to visit this site organically. Just call it a hunch. And I would argue this is going to be linked on a resume. So, yeah, I mean, like, they know that the person's trying to advertise their projects. It's a portfolio. They're probably going to click it. But I would just get rid of that initial landing page altogether. Okay, cool. That's it for the feedback. Like I said, I don't really know what to look for, what to prioritize or anything here. All right, Zach Stone. Okay. If this is outside of the United States, feel free to discard all my feedback. A lot of my feedback comes from getting jobs in the United States, from employers in the United States looking at your portfolio. So I'm going to speak to that, and maybe it'll apply to wherever you are. This looks kanji. Oh, Japan. Okay. But yeah, so take what I have to say with a grain of salt here. Cool. Picture, Zach Stone. Contrast is, well, you darken this a bit. So you were trying to consider contrast. Self-taught. Would this be considered a serif font or a sans serif? Because of these extensions. not sure. I always get confused. Hold on. Difference. I always get confused. Difference between serif font and sans serif. Which has the extensions? Okay, yeah. Serif has these extensions. This looks like a serif font. Usually you want a sans serif font for like headers and stuff like that. And then paragraph text that has substance to it. Usually it's going to be a serif font because those extensions make it a little bit easier on the eyes and it makes it more readable. Serifs are the little flares. Okay, got it. Thank you. I feel like the banner text is positioned too far to the right. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe that's the thing. It's like I think people put too much importance on their background images. I don't know. To me, this image, I don't know. I'm fine with either. Whether he chooses to push this to the right or not. Maybe this is a quirky thing. Maybe people in Japan would appreciate something like this. I feel like Japan does appreciate more quirkiness to portfolios, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know. So we're going to move on. About me, I fell in love with coding while an English teacher in Japan. While being an English teacher. I spent every day after school studying at the local Duder coffee shop. My interest in coding has only grown since that time. So in August, I left my teaching. I don't know. Get rid of so's. Most of the time, even when I include them, I shouldn't include them. Get rid of this so. In August, I left my teaching position and came back to the U.S. to study coding full-time. Seeking a full-time position as a web developer, software engineer in Japan. You can reach me. Resume. Okay. Skills, front end. No. So, okay, at least there's an action. At least something's happening when you click onto it. Can create websites with HTML, CSS, understand basic design principles. CSS, understand. I feel like you need to, I don't know if your primary language is English, but I think you need to have someone that has that is primarily English to, well, their language is primarily English to proofread this. This feels like there's a lot of grammatical mistakes. Grammar. I feel like when every time like I talk about like fixing someone's grammar, vocabulary, I feel like I always butcher the way that I even say it, and my grammar is poor. But I would have someone proofread this text. I think that's important. And then just repeating know how. When you're repeating those words over and over and over, you probably shouldn't include them and think about a better way to deliver this information. You could talk about the technologies you've worked with, right? Just, Axios, Fetch, TypeScript, React Context, and more. Okay. I bet you he has and more for each one of these. This just feels like, I don't know if this provides a lot of value. I really don't know if it does. I feel like your projects are going to speak more to a lot of this. Computer science. Ooh. Level 5. Nice. Is using a template the worst thing though? As long as you're not saying you're a designer, I think it's. I don't think it's faking. If you pay for it, like definitely don't rip off a template. You could use a template for. Yeah, honestly, I think it's fine to use a template. I do. Well, no. So you shouldn't use a template. You should use a design potentially. Like if you want to buy a design. You buy one for pretty cheap, for like $10. You want to buy a design and then code that out, that's fine. But if you're going to buy a template, or especially if you're going to rip one off, which is a huge red flag of hiring you, If you're going to do that, and then the code's already there, then you're not really able to showcase your skills. I don't know. Like, if you're going to use a template, the only website I would probably consider that for is like a portfolio. Like, I also encourage people to build their portfolio website on Squarespace with WordPress, with something like that. The portfolio is the least interesting part about you. Your projects, you shouldn't be doing that. So I would argue probably shouldn't use a template, but it's okay to use a design and then write the code yourself to match the design. It's a good question, though. Trying to get a dev gig in the United States? No, in Japan. The grammar seems alright to me. Can create website layouts with HTML, CSS. Oh, whoops. I was thinking like this is a sentence. You're right. CSS understand basic design principles. I think just the grammar or whatever I corrected in here. Let me keep reading. Maybe his grammar is fine. I think I misread that though. Yeah. All good. The skill buttons hover over rather than click on. Yeah, you don't really know if it's going to open up. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that would be a better option. I don't know how I feel about hover over versus click. I just don't even know what's supposed to happen when I click these. Feature projects. Okay, so you have a filter. I would left align it. If you're on desktop, left align it. React, Node. I don't know, maybe you don't have to. I guess you don't really have a lot of... To me, I would just left align it. It kind of looks weird when you have all this empty space here on both sides. I guess it's more of a feeling. It gives me the feeling like you didn't really consider this for desktop. And you probably have some like common styles between mobile and desktop, and you lean more towards like, with mobile, usually you center everything. And with desktop, sometimes it can look, I don't know if it's just like a feeling or it's actually good UX to left align it or center it like this. FizzBuzz, why is this? Okay, so I can click it. That's what you're saying. Okay. Wow, FizzBuzz is like a really, really basic project. Let's look at all projects. And hopefully you're ordering these projects based on your most impressive projects to your least impressive projects. React. There should be no animation here. If nothing happens, there should be absolutely no animation here. Get rid of that. GitHub, and then this should open a new tab. Once again, never, ever, ever, ever open or take the user off of your main website onto another website. Open a new tab if you are ever going to do that. You're just giving users reasons not to want to view the rest of your website. A full stack application using manual authenticate, just include that up here. There's no reason for this more info. I use this blog to learn used. Or are you still working on it? I blog using Gatsby. Well, I guess that would be current, right? Okay, so this is your main project. If it's longer than the others. That space. Okay. What else? I think this is fine. I think you need to expand or just take this and put it here. Haku, pronounce Haku as an application that helps you track. What? Why do you have a filter for 5 projects? Is that necessary? That feels like overkill. You might even consider taking some of these icons and putting them here. Featured blog post. I love people that write blog posts. It's okay using a template as long as you know how the template works. New developers use templates and the alignment is off. I don't think so. I don't think it is. There's no good reason to lean into a template. It's one thing to pick up a design, but if you're coding, if you're learning code and you're using a template, I think it's going to make people question why. And there might be some assumptions of like, well, you probably built this yourself. Oh, you didn't? Oh. Okay, so you took code from someone else? Like, you didn't necessarily steal it, necessarily. Maybe you bought the template, but I don't think you should. I don't think it's a good idea to use a template in general. Again, use a design, but a template, it just feels weird. And I think you're gonna, I don't know how a lot of employers would care about that. Some might, some won't. I think they're gonna be more interested in your projects. Don't use templates for projects, though. 3 simple, why is the shadow, it just kind of appears on the side? Like, you see how it expands and then it disappears? That tells me you have just kind of a containing element that's cutting it off and not letting it overflow. I would fix that. That just looks bad. Okay, so you have a blog. Why not combine the blog with this? I mean, SEO-wise, you probably know what you're doing. Probably look at the analytics, but this is a pretty small blog, isn't it? Second. Okay, so you have a few blog posts, and it's recent. You're keeping up with it. That's pretty cool. That's a good sign. A huge, I wouldn't say a huge red flag. I would say it's like a yellow flag, if I had to give it a color. But if you only have, like if you have a post, I don't know, 3 months ago, you haven't been keeping up with your blog, that tells me maybe you initiate things and you don't complete them. You don't follow through with them. And I would question that. Why is that? But you are keeping up with your blog, and I think people can... I don't know, I think they could start seeing a bit of your personality with some of these memes as well. Bit of my life. Okay, so this is more of a personal website. I get why you separated this. A little jarring that I have to go off the website to see feature blog posts, but it's not the end of the world. I think it's still worth linking them. Consistent spacing. I don't know why it's so crunched here. Thanks for looking at my portfolio. Let's connect. LinkedIn. This is... Okay. That's a weird icon to include with that. And this is kind of the problem of just leaning on icons in the footer, which I think it's can be a bad idea in a lot of cases. Like a computer is supposed to represent your blog. How? Like, how the hell am I supposed to know this? I literally have to look all the way in the bottom left corner to figure out Zach in Japan. Okay, what does that even mean? And so I feel like you can really use your blog a bit more, but you provide no context of why someone would even care. Like, at least they can, these are relevant articles so they can kind of pick your mind apart to figure out what you're interested in and how you think, your process. That's a little bit more relevant. I don't know. These are more recognizable icons. I just wonder, I think it just falls short with trying to link someone to your blog. I don't know how I feel about this background color, and I think that's just personal preference. I don't know. I think I could really pick apart the UX a bit with how you contain a lot of this material, but I think the content, I want to start focusing a little bit more on the content and how you're delivering essentially like who you are and what you can do as a developer. I don't know. I guess that's the desktop version. What do you guys think? I'm not sure about linking the HTML, CSS icons, etc. You mean here or here? We all know what they are. Oh, you mean underneath it. I gotcha. No need for comments at the end of each tool name. I agree. Yep, that's a good call. Yeah, it makes people think, how much of this did they code with the template? Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. That's what a lot of employers have to combat, is like a lot of aspiring developers will try to take code elsewhere, and employers have to cipher out like, what did this person actually implement themselves, right? And when they get this idea that it's even a template, when they start questioning, did they even code this out themselves? Like, they already have that uncertainty with a lot of junior developers that are kind of not really upfront with that. They're pretty dishonest about it. So that's what you're going up against. So when you use a template, that can definitely bring up some bias, deservedly, right? Because a lot of developers will try to cheat their way into trying to become a developer. And so a template could hurt you in that sense if you essentially get caught. Zach in Japan should be the main website. If it was me, I would combine both. 100%, I would combine both. That's what I would do. But I don't know if, like, he only has a few blog posts. It probably doesn't gain any income. I don't know how old the domain is, but I don't know how much authority he has in the Google search. But like, if it's a brand new blog, I would probably combine both. And I think it would be a less jarring transition to move from your portfolio into your blog. I think both can be combined and be one website. But it also depends on what he wants to do long term with his blog. Yeah. Slightly further above? Oh, gotcha. Makes sense. When you click on a project, it takes you to the live link. Like when you just click on it like that, it takes you to the live link. I think the filter is a really great feature. Why? It's irrelevant. There's only 5 projects. Why? Like, he already has the languages here, right? If he had like 9, 10, or close to a dozen projects, you could filter them out, sure, but you could literally just scroll down and look. Like in one window, I could just look at all these projects. What am I looking for? Node. Oh, here's a Node project. Here's a Node project. I'm gonna look at these two. Hey, welcome, Brian. I think it's an extra feature that's not necessary. It might look good, but I don't think it's necessary. And I think more developers should really start questioning, should this even be here? Is this necessary? Does the user need this to achieve the goal that I'm trying to get them to achieve? To provide the value that I'm trying to provide to them? No, not really. Not with 5 projects. Maybe hide this and bring it back with more projects? So if someone had 20 projects, it would be more practical. Yes, 100%. I like the filter. I just don't think it's needed or should be on this website for this view of projects. Should challenge himself to remake this without the template. So I don't know. I don't think this is a template. We were talking about templates with the previous website. I don't think this one's a template. Unless, I don't know, you guys have visited the website and you think it is. Zach here, thanks for checking out my portfolio. You are welcome, Zach. Glad it's been helpful. Cool. Let's check out mobile. Do a hard refresh. Yeah, okay. The context section, the spacing just looks off. I'm not going to be super picky about it. Not about the UX. These icons, these are going to be hard to press. When you're a mobile, people are going to fat finger these, and they're going to press the wrong icon. So maybe dump these icons down below it, and you can get rid of this arrow. Why is this so scrunched up with contact? I would actually, on mobile, I would I would expand these a bit more. I don't know why this section is so... It doesn't even match up your cards here. I would at least try to align it with the width here. And then you can decrease the padding or whatever this is on the sides here. This button is small for mobile. Oh, that's a interesting feature. What did I just click? This is the American version? No. Okay, I don't even know what that says. This so if you're Japanese, click that. Maybe there should be some context here, but it's not the default. If I have to click into this to switch it, then I'm gonna know kind of what it's doing at this point. Then you have a Japanese version. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's actually pretty cool. I think that's useful. Let's go ahead and do an empty cache and hard reload. Okay. Not a lot to load, which is good. No heavy files that would hurt us in the search results, from what I see anyways. But yeah, cool. That's it. Good job. Cool indeed. Good stuff, Zach. I'm inspired. I love it. What are your views on contact forms? I don't know. I think contact forms are irrelevant on 99% of portfolios because a lot of people are bringing employers to their portfolio because they're doing a cold application. Whereas I think they become a little bit more useful in just a contact button in general when you are building up actual substance, actual content, searchable content that will bring employers to you through search versus a cold application. So with portfolios, 99% of the time, the contact forms are relevant. That's my opinion. I don't think it necessarily hurts you. But if you find yourself like just tossing a contact form on your website because you think it's what you're supposed to do, maybe you shouldn't. Especially if they're just going to see it from cold applications. So contact form can help. I don't know. I would like what you could do is just, I don't know. You could A/B test. You could even just measure the clicks on like a mail to link versus a contact form. Does this create more engagement with your users, with your viewers? You can do an A/B test on that and just try to figure that out. Do you speak Japanese? Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for translating. Oh, it separates it into 2 comments. That's weird. That's what Streamlabs is doing. I think an email icon would more than suffice. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. All right, cool. Next portfolio. Good job, Zach. I'm Arseni Dmitriev, and I enjoy building websites. Okay. Some generic image. Best SaaS. Probably capitalizes. If you're going to capitalize React, you might as well capitalize all these letters and be consistent. Best SaaS practices. CES. I would get this proofread. Excuse me. I try to always learn new technologies and adapt to whatever tools. Okay. I love learning. To me, it's just fluff. Fine. Let's see your portfolio. Interested in doing a project together? Probably not. I actually think this is unnecessary. I would argue, like, if they haven't even seen your portfolio, you don't really understand when to bring a call to action in. I would just get rid of this. This is probably a good call to action once they've looked at your portfolio. Morning aroma. View project. What's Do you need these lines? Project, okay. What it is, technologies. Okay, visit website. That should always open up a new tab. And I'm actually going to timestamp these, so I'll probably repeat myself a couple times. But when you load a new website that takes a user away from this website, you always want to open it up in a new tab. Always, always, always. View code. Tech stack. How to run it locally. Demo, FAQ. Cool. I like it. Project background. Real-world coding problems. A component-based approach of React was the ideal structure for the layout of an e-commerce website. And then this call to action is more appropriate. You can include that here and specific projects. Okay, so you have a couple projects. Let's check out this one. Cool. Contact form, get in touch. Okay. Skills. Damn, you're really selling that call to action. Okay. At least, like, this animation almost, I feel less like this is going to provoke a certain action. So, I don't know. I guess I'm being inconsistent here, but this can be maybe a quirky animation that, I don't know, can expose your personality again if you are a quirky person. It's like you could do like little creative stuff like that, but you also, you're towing the line because you don't want to create an animation that makes the user feel like they can interact with the element further. So you're kind of towing the line when you chance these animations, but I don't feel like, I don't know, maybe, I don't think this is like really a frustrating experience of interacting with these animations. But chances are probably you don't need those animations there. All right. That's the desktop version. Looks pretty. Definitely looks pretty. A little hard in the eyes trying to read over these dots. I don't know if these dots are necessary. Maybe these dots kind of just start here. I don't know, it makes these a little harder to read. I wonder if I would get rid of this grid, whatever this is. Lots of great feedback. Hey, I'm glad it helps, Zach. I don't know, I quite like this design. Not sure how I feel about the animation on the landing page, though. This, I actually like that. I don't know, this page feels, I don't know how I like this page. It just feels like a lot of fluff and some generic image that I don't care about. And this text just, I see text like this all the time with every single resume. It's like, this doesn't really tell me anything unique about you. And maybe you should think about that. Maybe you should deliver a couple unique points about you that make you stand out from developers. That's really one of the only reasons you want to include an About Me section anyways. Or maybe you should get rid of your About Me section. Let's go ahead and check out mobile. I feel like it exposes a lot of empty background space. This animation? Empty background space. Maybe it does once the animation completes and it continues breaking away. I don't know. I think, first of all, why do you have a serif font? Use sans serif here. Don't have these extensions. That's for paragraphs. I enjoy building websites. Again, this is just fluff text. This is meaningless. Do you have like anything quirky or unique about you that you could put here? Check out mobile. Let's do a hard refresh. Oh, it doesn't? Oh, yeah, it doesn't. You're right about that. Okay, well. Why did it... How did I just zoom in? I broke it. Hold on. Empty, reload, refresh. Yo. There we go. All right. On mobile, this is kind of small. I would expand this, increase the size of this. What is this? 11. Oh, wait, padding. That's padding. 16. Okay. Whoops. I would expand that to maybe like 18 or 20. And space these out a little bit. People are going to fat finger that. About, why is this so low? About me? Go to portfolio. Yeah, there's no reason for this extra space. Interested in doing project. You could definitely see some inconsistency with spacing on mobile. Icons are way too small. People are going to fat finger those. Let's go portfolio. All right, just want to check something. Like the sliding animation. Yeah, me too. View project. Is there consistent spacing between here and here? Project. Okay, let's look into a project. These are really bunched up together, aren't they? I don't know how I feel about the spacing being wider here and less here. That's personal preference, though. Contact, then we go to the contact page. Yeah, I do like the sliding animation. It looks pretty good. Text is small, a little bit harder to read. I would increase the size of it. Again, this is 13.3. Whoa, that is small. If you are going below 16 anywhere on mobile, that is, yikes. Keep it at least 16, bare minimum. I usually recommend about 18. All right, let's go ahead and do a hard refresh. See what's loaded here. Oh, I gotta click home here. Hard refresh. Okay. Might have optimized this one. You have a favorite icon. I love it. A lot of people forget about that. Usually browsers, you'll notice this when, I noticed this when I first set up a Node.js application, or I set up a few of them, but usually browsers will automatically try to fetch that fave icon. Sometimes depending on like how you have things set up. But I love when people do include their logo as kind of just like a bookmark icon. I think it's helpful. And just shows attention to detail. Because there are a lot of different things about the front end that a lot of people neglect. And I think that attention to detail can show that you truly do want to care about everything about the front end. It seems optimized. It seems fine. Background. Yeah. Any final feedback for Arseni? Drop shadow or something to make the text more readable? No, don't ever put drop shadow on the text. Not this paragraph text? Or this. Maybe you're talking about this header. Yeah, it is a little bit hard to read with this background here. I would agree with that. I would experiment more with that. And sometimes it's even pushing it to the right if you do have that image on the left. That can go a long way and make it very simple to make this more readable. But again, I'm even questioning whether this is relevant. Like, this text isn't relevant. So is this content section relevant? Maybe not. So you need to think about like what would be relevant to put there. Something, again, unique that makes you stand out could be very helpful here. Like even, I don't know, like even the previous portfolio that we mentioned, like says he has 5 kids. And Jeremy, like immediately Jeremy's like, hey, I have 5 kids. It sounds silly, but that's a way for like Jeremy to immediately relate to this person as well. And it's a good icebreaker for the conversation in the interview. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to talk, maybe you don't want to talk about someone's kids with that first interview, but it's still like, you know, like making unique, relatable things about you clear and apparent from the beginning. That's the kind of stuff that you want to spell out very early on, if you're going to do that. Just went through that fave icon fetch in class yesterday. Oh, awesome. Nice, good timing. The header, yeah, I got you, Jerome. I agree. All right, cool. Let's move on. Last website, let's do it. So this person, they just became a developer or have less than a year of professional experience as a developer. Let's dive in. You know what I want to start doing? Let's do hard refreshes just to see any animations. Okay. Loaded pretty quickly. Cool. Algren. Okay. Software developer. Why is this highlighting? I can't even click on it. Get rid of that. So that's fine if you want to emphasize that you're a software developer. Creating webs. I don't know why you're emphasizing these two actually. I would argue if you're like a focus on a front end or back end position, that's something I would highlight, but it's like, I don't know why you're emphasizing this. Obviously, companies that are going to come to your website are going to know that you're looking for a software developer position. So, and you want to, this is already immediately showing that you don't really understand the nature of links on websites. This idea, like whenever you put an underline on a website like this, that means it's usually a link, and it should mean that. And when you are creating an unnatural experience that doesn't represent that, what everyone else is used to, again, it creates a jarring experience. You start, you know, all that frustration, you know, like I usually say, a lot of people, their attention spans, including hiring managers, because they're people too, attention spans are low. And you're just filling that bar with little things like this until it overflows and they exit out of your website. So you're, yeah, de-emphasize this and get rid of this link. View work, probably keep it consistent. Like view projects, so I know what they're doing. I don't know why you changed that wording. Oh, you're bringing this navigation down. Okay, that's gonna block some text and stuff. I don't think that's necessary. So a desktop experience is a one-page website, and that's what this looks like, right? You have okay, so the blog is a little unique. You have one post. Are you from the future? What? Okay, we'll talk about that in a bit. But like a one-page website like this, for the most part, I don't think you need to bring that navigation. Well, I just don't think it's necessary. I would keep these buttons here. They're just going to block content. And then, yeah, this there's no border. You have no transitions or not animations, but transitions to like covering some darker text with no border. It looks very amateurish. Keep these buttons up here. I would argue like this could actually look really good. You're rounding these corners too much. I really think you're rounding these corners too much. I would be very interested. I've seen a couple other websites like this where, especially when you utilize pink, it looks really sharp on top of white when you have, when you just have pointy corners. I might change. I would try a website where all these aren't rounded. They're a little bit, I don't know, how would I describe them? Too soft, not as sharp. Left align the intro text, change background animation from right to left, boom. Oh, for the last website. Or just right align it. Can right align it. But yeah, you could do that. It would, I mean, it would cover the links. I would have to see how that looked. Maybe that's not the best option. But you could experiment with that. What do you think about using a template for a portfolio website? I wouldn't. I'd stay away from it. It's okay to use a design and code that out, but I would stay away from a template. And all these people know TypeScript. Is that something a junior developer should know too? No, you don't have to know TypeScript. Those are European dates. I would get rid of... Oh, gotcha. Okay. Work on a daily basis with technology. Yeah, I agree. I think I would definitely specify whether you're more front end or back end focused here. I don't know why you're underlining this. This is weird. It's like you can't really stay consistent with your logo. Now you're using a line which could represent a link. I can't click on it. View work, projects. I would actually bring this down more. If you're gonna click view work, like it should bring it down a lot more than that. Proter, okay, so this better be a link, and it's not. I click on it, nothing happens. There's no reason to make this look like a link whatsoever unless this entire card is gonna be clickable. Live link. Okay, it opens up in a new tab. Good. GitHub repo link. Built with. Contact. Okay. Minimum that you should have at least how to boot that application up. I don't know. I think this animation is unnecessary. You can't even click on it. I would get rid of it. You could also include the technologies. Mern stack. I guess you do here. TypeScript Tailwind. You could even do an A/B test and try separating those technologies and putting them out here separately from the description of whatever you're building. And you could do like a Hotjar test or something like that. Might be overkill, but if you really want to figure out whether separating those technologies can make it easier for hiring managers to identify what project they actually want to check out, you might consider separating them instead of including them in the text, but that's not necessarily needed. Hello everyone, thanks for the feedback on my portfolio. I got a well-paid internship recently and I will be improving my portfolio and my skills. Hey, congrats on the paid internship. That's awesome. How the hell I didn't even notify you. Like some of these are old submissions. How do you guys know I'm doing a portfolio review? It's actually kind of cool. It's for a full stack position internship, so I'm super high. You should be. That's awesome. Congrats, Arseni. Don't center it. Left align it, maybe. Sky Betting and Gaming, January 2020. Junior web developer. Motors working. Okay. That's pretty cool. And that's to present, tech stack. These animations, there's no reason for them. Others. Okay. Styled components. Why is this lowercase? Why not just uppercase it? Kind of looks weird in comparison to everything else. Education. Visual. Is this relevant? This doesn't feel like something that needs to take the... You're kind of like... I guess you're creating a resume at this point. Now these are links. These should be links. Copyright, all rights reserved. Okay, so you're essentially just creating a live resume. Which is fine. That's completely fine, especially if you have work experience. We could talk more how to like... I guess sell yourself with a work experience, but I think that's another topic. Contact me. Okay, so everything's pretty much centered. Okay, it's pretty simple. Keep in mind, sometimes people shy away from this, but like it's okay to left align in certain cases and then center in other cases. I think it all depends. Like you can extend a lot of these. It can. I guess I think a lot of people get tripped up when they start putting everything in cards, right? And sometimes you don't know what to do with cards, so you think like the best thing to do is space them out and just center everything. And I think a lot of people have trouble figuring out like what to left align, what to right align, and just honestly creating and dividing sections up in a way that just flows nice when you scroll down the page. And that's just learning design. That's looking at tons of websites that were already built and getting ideas from those websites. So I'm not going to be like super picky about that, but essentially this feels like just a giant live resume. Let's check out mobile. Buttons are kind of small on mobile. I don't know, you could probably expand this out a little bit. It's a lot of padding, margin, whatever. Yeah, you're squishing all the text too much. You might even consider a serif font for the paragraph text. Spacing between sections is pretty good. Cool. Do you feel it annoying when working with CSS? It stops working because Windows done some random update. Any easy Linux version which you... Nope, nothing to recommend for Linux. Getting a MacBook Air, but in June, big fan. Appreciate that. I don't use Linux, so I don't have any recommendations. Maybe other people can recommend it. An update with Windows? I mean, maybe an update of the browser itself. I don't know. It would depend on it. No, I don't usually experience that. And I think it could be helpful to dive into like caniuse.com and just type in the CSS properties that you're using and just see the compatibility across each. I've never really had any jarring experiences of like your page changing because of Windows updates. I've never experienced that. I've never heard of that. So I don't know what's going on there. Does a front-end developer need to learn UI, UX design? No, 100% no. It helps, but no. App in 2 minutes? Yep, no idea, Lucas. I'm not there to see exactly what it is, so. Elementary OS is pretty user-friendly, okay. Cool. So mobile, let's look at the hamburger menu. Why not extend these out? It's like random buttons. Why not extend this out 100% on mobile? Again, it just almost feels oversimplistic here. I would look at some hamburger navigations and just check out what others have done with it and how they choose to present those links. Let's go ahead and do a hard refresh. Yo, you didn't clear it. What? Oh, maybe you did. Okay. Live link. No big images. Vitals. Why is this being loaded 3 times? Different fonts. Wonder what the bundle settings are for this. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Good job. That's the website. I don't think I have much more feedback. Does anyone else have any extra feedback for this website? The smaller the company, the more important your knowledge of UI is. Yeah, if it's a really small company, yeah. System reset fixed everything, which is even more annoying. Oh, fun. Sounds like a fun time, Lucas. Maybe you'll have a better experience with Mac. All right. Cool. If no feedback for this one, I hope that helped. What I'll do is I'll go back and kind of just, even if you were here already, I'm still going to email you. I just email everyone, let them know the link. I'll probably do that by tomorrow, most likely. And then, yeah, this is fun. I'm glad we got to do this again. I think 5 projects is like the sweet spot to be able to do this, because it's already like an hour and a half in. It's definitely the sweet spot. So if you guys want to, we could do this again. I'll probably by tomorrow, I'll post it in the comment, maybe a pinned comment or something, the link to submit your project. Because I don't just want to pull them from Discord just in case people don't want me to do a live stream of their project. So I'll provide a link and you guys can submit them. And then when we do this again, we can go ahead and jump right into them. How can I submit mine? I'll actually post a link if anyone wants it. I do have the link available here. Here you go. Submit your project there if you want me to review it the next time that we do this. Thoughts on learning TypeScript straight after JS? Bring it up on Friday. We're at the end of this stream, but bring it up on Friday and we can dive into it. We have a live Q&A every Friday, 1:30 Central Time. Learned a lot from this. Thanks, Don. Glad to hear it. Looking forward to seeing your portfolio hologram. Cool. So let's go ahead and before I forget, again, thank you for the supporters. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think like, I don't know if I want to do like a separate video or just like maybe a community post, but we are reaching almost 10K subscribers, which is actually insane. It's taken so long to finally come close to 10K subscribers. It's been a long grind. It's been a very long grind. And we're like less than 100, I think, maybe around 100 subscribers away. So we're getting close. I appreciate everyone that has subscribed. That's here. I love seeing familiar faces in live chat. I love when you guys come back every time. So hopefully we can continue to build up this community more and more. But thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for doing this. Huge amount of value. You are welcome. I'm glad it's been helpful. All right. Cool. Let's do this. Next Friday, we're going to do a live stream. It's an open-ended live Q&A, 1:30 Central Time, this coming Friday. So join us then if you have questions about your web development journey or just blockers in general. Happy to talk. It's pretty open-ended, so sometimes we go off on tangents, but I will see you guys next time. Thanks, everyone.